Over the past few years, the economy of our province has experienced a severe downturn, as evidenced in the decrease in property and share values, bankrupting businesses, and our rapidly accumulating national debt. We, the Monetarist Party of Alberta, propose that the solution to this problem lies in a mostly free market system, with the exception of the adjustment of interest rates in order to support those requiring additional finances and to stimulate the flow of money during this recession. Should you choose to help heal this province, our policies will bring Alberta back into a state of economic growth and stability, while also assuring that the government stays out of the personal affairs of citizens.
With an open market operation, there will be competition. So the role of industries is to ensure that their goods outbeat other competitors. This means employees need to work hard to ensure that their products are made to the highest quality. Corporations, on the other hand, have the role to hire employees, enough to ensure that the work productivity is not understaffed. An increase in aggregated demand encourages job creations, therefore reduces the rate of unemployment, and as a result, stimulate economic growth. Like Milton Friedman would agree, let free market take care of itself. After all, free market industries and corporations is more efficient in taking care of inflation and unemployment.
Our party views that minimum wages are more flexible and are likely to adjust downwards as we want to prevent real wage unemployment. We have developed a concept called the natural rate of unemployment, where it has been influential on policies in the 1970s and the 1980s. The core ideas where levels of unemployment and employment are determined by the supply and demand for labor, in which the problem of unemployment is because of frictions and rigidities in the economy. If we keep the minimum wage low, we can achieve and reach equilibrium in the labor market, in which this will help businesses grow and reinvest in creating profits. Thank you.
Personal income tax. With a reliance on monetary policy rather than physical policy, our party has determined that personal taxation would violate citizens' freedom. In having a fixed rate rather than a fluctuating or progressive one, it places a responsibility in hands of citizens. This in turn increases spending, which stimulates the economy. Reciting Milton Friedman quote, he says, if you're not paying for it in the form of explicit taxes, you're paying for it indirectly in the form of inflation or in the form of borrowing. The real problem is to hold down government spending as a fraction of our income. And if you do that, you can stop worrying about the debts.
Our party's views on corporate taxes follow the same logic, opposing a government with too much intervention in the lives of its citizens. The existence of a fixed tax would be a welcome solution to this, as it means that all people will pay equal amounts for the same infrastructures, and all businesses will function equally, allowing for the free economic growth that this country so desperately requires at the moment. As we propose to intervene only in matters of regulating interest, there's no great need for massive taxation. This also secures the privacy of you, the citizens, as the government will no longer have a direct hand in assessing your income and wealth, and the steady supply of money will help to stabilize our economy. This economic system was used to great effect in the past through the economic policies of Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher, whose monetarist policies included cutting taxes for corporations as well as gradually decreasing and controlling the supply of money in the government, freeing the market for many and successfully reducing the inflation in the nation, with the rate of inflation slowing from around 20% in 1979 to nearly 5% in the mid-1980s. As a result of this freer market, the performance of one's business will be based on the merit of those operating it. Quoting Milton Friedman, "We are in favor of cutting taxes under any circumstances and for any excuse, for any reason, whenever it's possible, because we believe the big problem is not taxes, the big problem is spending."
Within our party stimulus plans, we would have the economy system follow a monetary policy, whereas our economy is inherently stable. So if things go bad, they will naturally return to a stable state. Following the values of capitalism, with less government power, public work projects would not have much an effect on improving our economy. No government would or could be able to spend money as wisely or as carefully as taxpayers.
That's true. Too much government spending on things like housing or student loans interferes with the workings of the economy and could lead to increased debt and higher interest rates. Also, the cost of subsidies tends to increase during times of economic instability. Monetarists such as us argue that subsidies are unnecessarily distort markets, prevent efficient outcomes, and divert resources from more productive uses to less productive ones. Same thing could be said about grant programs. Government grants are funded by tax dollars, and taxes should be lowered, not raised. There are better ways to spend your money.
I agree, Natasha. There was a greater emphasis on government spending and in order to reduce government debt. Therefore, there would be more government programs such as pensions. Pensions would be changed based on their annual income, which means that most seniors that had earned a specific amount of income would not be eligible for pensions. Government programs would interfere with the natural process of the monetary system, which would only lead to unnecessary social programs and increased deficits.
In addition, government-funded projects often lead to failures. For example, Richard Nixon's case on wage and price controls led to gasoline shortages and higher unemployment. Milton Friedman also pointed out that the combinations of public schooling, minimum wage, laws, drug probation, and welfare programs had unintentionally forced many inner-city families into cycles of crime and poverty. Government policies created and carried through forces, and that force creates unintended consequences that do not come from voluntary
In
trade.
conclusion, monetary policy would create a more balanced and effective economy, since free market principles would have longer effects and less government control would improve individuals' needs through their own free will.